Hello guys, in this video we will explore 10 things you may not know about John F. Kennedy, so before we start, please to subscribe in my channel. Hit like button and press bell icon to receive more videos. He and Jackie Kennedy had 4 children. In addition to Caroline and John Jr., the Kennedys had 2 other children. In 1956, Jackie gave birth to a stillborn girl whom the couple intended to name Arabella, and on August 7, 1963, Patrick Bouvier Kennedy was born 5.5 weeks early. The baby weighed under 5 pounds and died 2 days later from a pulmonary disease. The bodies of the 2 children were removed from Massachusetts in 1963 to be next to their father in Arlington National Cemetery. The Army medically disqualified Kennedy from service. In the months before the United States entered World War II, Kennedy attempted to enlist in the military. But his intestinal and back problems caused him to fail the physical examinations for both the Army's and Navy's officer candidate schools. Using his father's connections, however, the future president was admitted to the Navy in October 1941. As a commanding officer of PT 109, he became a wartime hero after helping his crewmates survive the gunboat's 1943 sinking. He won a Pulitzer Prize. Kennedy authored his first book, Why England Slept, at age 22. And in 1945 he spent a few months as a newspaper correspondent for William Randolph Hearst's newspapers covering the United Nations Conference in San Francisco and the aftermath of World War II in Europe. In 1957, a Pulitzer Prize in biography was awarded to Kennedy for Profiles in Courage. Although there has since been controversy as to how much of the book was ghostwritten by his aide Theodore Sorensen. Kennedy briefly attended Princeton University. Prior to his enrollment at Harvard University, the future president in 1935 began his undergraduate career at another Ivy League institution, Princeton University. His stint there was brief. A gastrointestinal illness forced him to leave Princeton after only 2 months, and after convalescing he transferred to Harvard. Kennedy installed a secret taping system in the White House. Richard Nixon was not the first president to record his private White House conversations. In the summer of 1962, Kennedy secretly installed a taping system in the Oval Office and Cabinet Room that transmitted recordings to a reel-to-reel tape recorder in the White House basement. The president likely installed this system to aid him in writing his future memoir, and it captured many historical discussions between Kennedy and his staff, including discussions during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Kennedy proposed a joint Soviet mission to the moon. Although Kennedy famously challenged the country in the first months of his presidency to land a man on the moon by the end of the 1960s. By September 1963 he had such concerns about the space program's high cost that he proposed partnering with the Soviet Union on a joint expedition to the moon. Why, he asked in an address to the United Nations General Assembly, should man's first flight to the moon be a matter of national competition? Why should the United States and the Soviet Union, in preparing for such expeditions, become involved in immense duplications of research, construction and expenditure? Kennedy feared running for re-election against Mitt Romney's father. When evaluating prospective Republican candidates for the 1964 presidential campaign, Kennedy welcomed the prospect of running against Arizona Senator Barry Goldwater, who ultimately received his party's nomination, but he was concerned about the prospects of facing more moderate Michigan Governor George Romney, father of the 2012 Republican presidential nominee. "The one fellow I don't want to run against is Romney. That guy could be tough," he privately confided to a friend in 1963.